Do your children or the young people you know express worry about climate change? Are you aware of how to effectively assist and support those, especially young people, who are facing the growing problem? If you're uncertain, you've come to the right place to learn more. Hi, I'm Anastasija, a psychologist and master coach. Join me today in a 10-minute exploration of the field of eco and climate anxiety among youth. Today, I'll be sharing some essential findings from recent studies. We'll view some enlightening interviews and we'll think about how parents can effectively support their children through the challenges of the climate crisis. For a more in-depth understanding of eco-anxiety in general and its effects on people, please watch my previous video. In a world increasingly defined by climate change, the mental health of young people has emerged as a critical area of concern. Youth depression, a major risk factor for suicide and a leading cause of disability worldwide. It has traditionally been attributed to factors like genetic predisposition, socioeconomic status, or adverse life events. However, recent research is shedding light on a previously underexplored factor: the profound impact of climate change on young minds. As the planet warms, concerns for both planetary and human health escalate. A 2020 survey for the British Broadcasting Corporation of 2,000 young individuals from the age of 8 to 16 years old highlighted this disparity. About 73% experienced worry about the planet's future. 19% reported having nightmares about climate change. And when kids were asked about the action being taken by grown-ups to tackle the problem, 2 in 5 say they don't trust adults to tackle the challenges that climate change presents. And 2/3 say leaders aren't listening enough to young people's views. Let's watch some interviews for a deeper understanding of the problem.
Young people are often ignored. It's so important to listen to the youth because we are the ones who are not only going to be living with the effects of climate change, we are going to be the next policymakers, the next politicians, and we are going to be the ones bringing the change into that new era.
Learning about the climate emergency gave me a lot of anxiety, especially when I was first educating myself on what that meant. I remember feeling a lot of worry, a lot of grief, guilt, and hopelessness when I would think about my future. What do I have to look forward to in my future? If I have children, what do they have to look forward to? Will they be able to have dreams? And will they be able to feel like they can follow their passions? Will they be able to feel like life is worth living?
Addressing the issue of climate anxiety among young people is undeniably challenging, and there exists a tempting inclination to either deny its existence or downplay its severity. Some may want to believe that the problem is not as serious as it seems and advocate a less alarmist approach in hopes of shielding children from unnecessary worry. However, the reality is that we cannot shield our young people from the direct or indirect effects of climate change. Whether experiencing extreme weather events, witnessing the degradation of the natural environment, or listening to the widespread discourse that the planet is in danger, young people are aware of the climate crisis and are experiencing its consequences. Ignoring or trivializing their concerns does not make them disappear. It only amplifies their sense of isolation and helplessness in the face of rapidly changing world. Let's listen a piece from the interview with the climate psychologist Liza van Susteren.
Do you share any of the concern that some critics share that we're overly scaring children, that the entire youth climate movement is stirring up fears that are terrifying kids inappropriately?
That is a common reaction among some people who do not want to face the reality. The kids are not dreaming this up. They aren't living in a cave. They have seen with their own eyes. It's no longer just scientists telling them. They have seen what is happening. And for us to sweep this under the rug makes them feel even worse.
So, what could be the parental role dealing with the climate crisis and its influence on our kids? Parenting at its core involves providing fundamental life support, ensuring access to necessities like a safe home, food, and appropriate clothing. Beyond these basics, parents are tasked with making decisions about their child's health and development. This encompasses not just their physical well-being, but also their emotional and their psychological nurturing. The atmosphere parents create within the home is of paramount importance. Also, setting clear boundaries and rules, while maintaining a sense of warmth and security, helps in developing a child's sense of safety and predictability in a world that might seem increasingly uncertain due to different concerns. Moreover, parents are called to be protectors and mediators, bridging the gap between their children and the complexities of the world. Parents can help by filtering information, providing age-appropriate explanations, and fostering a sense of empowerment rather than despair. An often overlooked aspect of parental influence is the parents' own resilience and life management skills. The ability of parents to control their lives, take responsibility not just for themselves, but also for their children, and model coping mechanisms play a crucial role in shaping a child's response to stressors like climate change. It's important not to overwhelm children with situations they are unequipped to handle. Placing a child in such scenarios can instill a deep-seated primal fear. This fear can manifest in various detrimental ways as the child grows, including aggression, a victim mentality, or psychosomatic disorders. Reflecting on my childhood, I vividly recall a defining moment during a severe economic crisis that hit our country when I was a kid. It was a time of denomination, where the value of our currency plummeted overnight. I remember the chaos, people standing in queues all nights, trying to exchange their devalued money and buy everything that was still available. Money, which once held value, was reduced to nothing. Amidst this turmoil, there is one memory that stands out: an evening in our kitchen. My parents sat there, deep in conversation, strategizing our family's response to this crisis. They took the time to explain the situation to me, laying out what this economic upheaval meant and what it entailed for our family. Despite my age, they included me in the discussion about our plan of action. I remember the fear I felt, but also the reassurance I gained from their words. They emphasized that while times would be tough, we had strategies in place. Some actions would take place immediately, some for the near future, and something to let go and move forward. A particularly touching moment was when my father helped me with my small savings, a jar of money I had saved up. He promised to take it to the bank and exchange it for the new currency so it wouldn't lose its value. True to his word, he returned the next day with my money, now in the new denomination. This gesture was more than just about preserving my savings. It was a lesson in resilience and adaptability. Years later, after we had moved out, I stumbled upon the jar tucked away in a closet. To my surprise, it still contained the old currency. Of course, my father had never exchanged it. Instead, he chose to provide me with a sense of stability and normalcy in time of crisis. He and my mom shielded me from the full brunt of the world's problems, a responsibility they carried as adults. They taught me that while the world outside may be in turmoil, within our family we can find strength and support in each other. This experience from my childhood resonates deeply with the current challenge of climate anxiety among youth. It underscores the critical role parents and adults have in guiding the young through global crisis. Just as my parents protected me from the harsh realities of the economic crisis, ensuring that I was aware but not overwhelmed, they highlight the importance of adult responsibility in addressing global issues. It's essential for parents and guardians to provide a buffer for their children against the enormity of global problems like climate change, while simultaneously educating and preparing them for the challenges ahead. This balance of protection, education, and support can help mitigate climate anxiety among youth, by showing young people that there are plans and actions in place, and by working alongside them to create a sustainable future, adults can offer a sense of hope and stability. Just as my father replaced my old coins with new ones, symbolizing stability and continuity, adults today need to ensure that the youth feel supported and included in our collective response to the climate crisis. It's about nurturing a sense of resilience and adaptability, while providing the comfort of supportive family unit to navigate the global challenges together. As we wrap up this episode, I invite you to reflect on the insights I've shared about youth and climate anxiety today. In my next episode, we'll shift our focus to practical strategies, and I'll be sharing targeted recommendations on how to effectively communicate about climate anxiety and the climate crisis with different age groups. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join me next week. See you soon.